Hi, I'm Elaine. This is Elaine is XYZ, a vlog that's currently about the end of the year of the rat, aka my Ben Ming Nian. I'm the year of the rat. What's a Ben Ming Nian? Well, I've actually explained all of this before in another video, link up above, but just to quickly refresh. Ben Ming Nian is your year of the Zodiac, and unintuitively, it's supposed to suck for you. As part of that video, I also looked up some fortunes for myself and other Year of the Rat people. And since we are in the very few last days of the Year of the Rat, I thought it'd be fun to see how accurate those predictions, centered as they would be around money, love, and health, were. Especially since I did so very much to try to ease whatever bad luck I was supposed to be taking on from Taisui being a dick. Anyway, I thought I'd start out here because about a Lunar New Year ago, I was in a very similar looking area. But also, this is a little self-indulgent, so I thought I'd pepper it with scenes from one of Shanghai's most famous little tourist spots. Oh right, I should introduce where I am. Hey everybody, welcome to Yuan, aka Yu Gardens, aka a really big piece of property some rich guy built up almost 500 years ago in the Ming Dynasty. It's also the most Chinatown-ish part of Shanghai you'll find, and still happens to be one of the best places to get Chinese New Year decorations if you're choosing not to order them from online. And I'm going to enjoy my morning out at it by getting some breakfast snack soup dumplings at one of the oldest soup dumpling restaurants in Shanghai, Nanxiang Mantou. There are actually 3 levels of Nanxiang Mantou, which become cheaper and more crowded as you go lower. I'm going up to the top because I'm baller, and also because... on the money side, my fortune prediction was... for wealth and career, your luck in making money can be plain, your fortune is doomed to be unstable, and your luck for career will not be quite improved. And thankfully, it was pretty wrong. Oh, shit. Especially considering my original goal this year was to somehow make it as a travel writer, digital nomad, a career choice that has all but collapsed for the near future. I somehow managed to finagle myself a very meaningful job doing things I actually care about for a company I'm pretty proud to associate myself with. Plus, it actually pays well enough for me to not feel the sting of not being in corporate anymore. But negotiating for jobs this time helped solidify a key piece of advice that I think would be helpful for anybody's career. And ooh, added value. I think I'm gonna take each of these predictions and give you some Ben Ming Nian acquired wisdom. So, you want a good chance at getting a position you're actually excited about holding? Go into that interview with at least one problem you feel like you can help that company solve. Wait, you know how to eat xiaolongbao, right? To figure out what you can help solve, you're going to need to do some research, but hopefully that's not a hard sell for a job you actually really want. Basically for this one, I spent a bunch of time on their website, and my first impression was that the content seemed kind of scattered. And so when I went into interviews, I asked questions around that, in a nice way of course, like, I think what you're doing is really fascinating and incredibly important, and I feel so connected to what I'm seeing. One thing I was a little confused by, though, was ABC. How do you decide on XYZ? And when they answer, propose some initial ideas of what you could do to help them on it, and boom. The next prediction was about love. Love. In the year 2020, your luck for love relationship can be ordinary. If you are single, you will be popular amongst the opposite sex, yet less blessed in starting a relationship since most of them do not fit you. That sounded like a joke, but it's not, and it was pretty on the money this year too. But actually, that's okay. I don't know what dating advice anyone would want to take from a 36-year-old single woman, but I guess here goes. As someone who has been in long-ass relationships in the past that didn't quite fit right, being single is actually more fun. Also, being open to a good relationship is actually much easier when you realize how great you are by yourself. And yes, the more clearly defined and enjoyable your own life is, the harder it is to settle for someone who doesn't fit quite right. But ultimately, is that a bad thing? Quite honestly, I'm glad my fortune was about finding a good fit. It's actually a pretty good message because it shows that if you're looking, what you should be looking for is someone that slots well into your own life. And it's fine to wait for that to come along. The second part of that fortune that I really want to highlight is that it did say there would be suitors. And there were suitors. But man, does it become easy to extricate yourself from crappy ones when you've got so much else going for you. By the way, I'm on Jiuqiu 9 Bend Bridge. Actually, 9 bends in a bridge are a pretty common architectural site amongst Chinese gardens. They were created specifically for giving you lovely little perching points that emphasize something the garden designer wanted you to view. So at any corner of a 9 bend bridge, you should be able to see something very aesthetically pleasing. Cute scenery. No cute men though. Moving on. The last prediction was about health, which went something like, and can lead to you quarreling and fighting with others, even accidents or disasters of blood. Ooh boy, that's actually pretty dark, so I'm gonna finish up here and then maybe go to the office, since actually I do need to go to the office today. Alright, I'm back in the WeWork. So, I guess this last one is a little difficult to say if it came true or not. Obviously, I didn't get COVID, you know, the most famous of the dire diseases of 2020. But I did get massively depressed anyway. Like, unable to move from bed or tell time except for to anxiously watch it slip through my fingers. That kind of depressed. And considering I know I actually had it pretty good, I'm going to assume that I wasn't the only person who felt incredibly depressed this year. We all lost a lot. We all felt the constant fear of uncertainty, and we all still have no clue what's going to be happening in the short term to mid-term to long term even? And I guess if I were to offer you any advice on health, other than to reach out to any therapeutic resources that you can actually get, it's to constantly remind yourself that you're allowed to feel bad. Like, this is something that actually helped me in the darkest of my days. I actually wrote down on the top of a document, "You're allowed to feel bad." And then below that, I would do this running commentary of whatever I had in my head. You know, how unfair things were, how numb my mind felt, the weird things I was telling myself about myself, anything else that was making me angry, stressed out, upset. And then I looked at the top again, then turned the document around, would go nap for anywhere from 1 to 16 hours, and then come back to the document afterwards. And somehow after a little bit of distance, all of those negative thoughts, well, some of them would seem really silly in hindsight, but overall I would just feel a lot more compassion for myself. And being able to be compassionate for yourself and your current situation helps you move on from it. So yeah, I hope that was useful. If it was, don't forget to like and subscribe. You can find me off of YouTube on my website and Instagram. And see you next time, doing whatever it is I happen to be doing. Which in this case is probably going to be hanging up some of those things I bought in Yuan.